I'm about to spill a secret that like 90% of cat owners don't know. Your cat understands at least 5 words you say every single day, but they're basically choosing how to react based on their mood. You think they're ignoring you because they didn't hear. Nah, they're thinking, do I care more about my human or my own happiness? Today, let's break down those exact 5 words. You ready? Word number 1, no. You're cooking. Your cat hops up on the kitchen counter. You turn around like, no! They pause, look at you, and keep going. So you assume they don't understand, but they do. They understand you're annoyed. That's information. But it's not enough information to change the behavior, because you didn't give them a better option. Cats hear way better than we do. They can pick up frequencies roughly from 48 Hz to 85,000 Hz, while humans top out around 20,000 Hz. So it's not their ears. It's how their brain processes what you're saying. Cats learn by linking experiences, not by following orders. If no is just a sound that means you're not vibing, they log that, and then do the math. Yeah, but the counter is still more interesting than getting down. And you already know how that ends. So does no work? Yes, but only if you use it right. The second you say no, you have to immediately offer an alternative. Scratching post in the corner, a toy on the floor, a higher spot they're actually allowed to climb. Then praise them or give a tiny treat when they pick the correct spot. There are 3 reasons no is useless in most cat homes. 1. You yell it too late. If the behavior already happened, your cat's brain can't connect that sound to any specific action. They need feedback within like 2 to 3 seconds. 2. You're not consistent. Today the counter is forbidden. Yesterday you let it slide because you were busy. A cat's brain learns by frequency, not by your intentions. 3. There's no replacement option. Cats need to climb high because it's instinct, safety checking, and territory control. If you ban the counter but don't give them another approved high place to meet that same need, congratulations, your cat will keep hopping on that counter forever. Word number 2. Good job. Cats don't need praise the way dogs do. True, but that doesn't mean praise does nothing. Cats are way more sensitive to your voice and your body language than you think. They're not decoding every single word, but they absolutely read your tone, your rhythm, and how relaxed your body feels. When you speak in a soft, steady voice, your cat's brain logs, okay, this place is safe. Here's a fun one from research. Kristen Vitale at Oregon State University in 2019. When cats were given a choice between food, toys, and human interaction, most cats in the study picked the human interaction, which kind of ruins the popular idea that cats only care about snacks. So what does praising a cat correctly look like? Not screaming, "Good boy," like you're at a football game. Cats are usually suspicious of over-the-top hype. Instead, soft voice, slower pace, and touch them where they actually like it. Most cats prefer the top of the head, under the chin, and the cheek corners. Timing matters even more. Praise has to happen the exact moment the behavior you want happens. Not 10 seconds later. Not after you've walked into the next room. Right then. So your cat's brain can connect the behavior to the positive feedback. And here's the subtle part. Cats are pretty good at reading fake vibes. If you're stressed or irritated, but you try to sound cheerful, there's a solid chance they'll notice the mismatch between your voice and your body. You don't need to perform. Just actually relax when you interact with them. Word number 3, treat, aka snack time. You whisper treat from across the room. Your cat is dead asleep on the other side of the house and pops up within 3 seconds. You're like, okay, wow, super hearing unlocked. And yeah, cat ears are insanely sharp, but that's not the main reason. The main reason is they learned that sound comes bundled with one of the most important things in their entire life, food. This is classic conditioning. Same basic idea Pavlov described. You repeat the word enough times right before food shows up, and the brain builds a shortcut. Eventually, just hearing the word makes the body start gearing up before the food even appears. And cats are even more extra than that. A lot of them can recognize the exact sounds of specific food containers. A can opening doesn't sound like dry kibble pouring. The treat jar doesn't sound like the fridge door. They can tell the difference, and they react differently to each of those sounds. Here's the hack. You can turn that association into a real-life training tool. Pick one consistent word, literally one word only, and use it every time you're about to give food or a snack. After a few weeks, that word becomes a signal strong enough that you can use it in situations where you need their attention fast. From there, you can pair the food signal with simple behaviors. Come here when called. Get off the table. Go into the carrier without you having to wrestle them. Cats learn these behaviors not because they obey, but because the behavior is tied to something valuable. The carrier is the best example. Most cats hate the carrier because they only see it when it's vet time. But if you leave the carrier open at home every day, and sometimes toss a treat inside, let them walk in and out on their own, then within a few weeks, the carrier stops being a horror movie prop. It's just a place where good snacks sometimes happen. Word number 4, their name. Your friends come over, they call your cat's name, and your cat doesn't show up. So you're like, welp, they don't know their own name. But if you look a little closer, you'll catch the tiniest ear twitch. The tail does a little tap. The head rotates like 3 degrees, then stops. Yeah, they heard you. They're just doing the math on whether the person calling is worth responding to. There was a study out of the University of Tokyo in 2019 that found cats can tell their own names apart from other words that sound similar. They recognize it by the sound and by the situation around it. But their reaction doesn't always mean they come running. Sometimes the reaction is a micro-reaction, tiny movements in the ears, head, or tail that you'll miss if you're not watching. What your cat is really calculating when they hear their name is trust. Is this a familiar person or a random stranger? Does that voice usually come with something good, buddy, or something cursed? This is a big problem for a lot of cat owners. Because when do people say a cat's name the most? When the cat messed up. When you need to grab them. When you're about to shove them into a carrier for the vet. Over time, in their brain, their name gets glued to, not this again. Fixing it is pretty simple, but yeah, it takes a little time. Say their name, then immediately make something good happen. Pet the exact spot they like, usually the head or under the chin. Give a tiny snack. Play with them for 10 seconds. Do this every day for 7 days in a row. Not long, just consistent. The result is, their name becomes a safe signal instead of a warning siren. And then, that's when you can actually start teaching the more complicated stuff. Number 5, come here. This is the one people mess up in the sneakiest way possible. Think about it. When do you usually say, come here, to your cat? When they knock something over and you're about to scold them. When it's nail clipping time. When you're about to stuff them in a carrier for the vet. When it's bath time. If that's mostly when you use that phrase, then in your cat's brain, come here is not neutral. It's a warning. A spoiler alert for something not fun. Cats learn by predicted outcomes. They don't need to see the reward first. If the pattern is consistent enough, their brain fills in the blanks. And if the prediction is bad, they bail. Not because they're stubborn, because they're smart. So you have to rewire that association. And yes, there's a system. The 70-30 rule. Out of 10 times you say, come here, at least 7 times it needs to end in something your cat loves. Treats, pets, playtime, whatever they consider a win. The other 3 times? That's when you use it for necessary stuff, like vet visits or nail trims. 3 steps to make recall actually work. 1. Say their name and come here in a normal tone. No high-pitched panic voice. 2. The second they come close, reward immediately. No delay. 3. Let them leave right after. Don't hold them. Don't scoop them up. Don't turn it into a trap. Step 3 is the one most cat owners skip. They call the cat over and then squeeze them because it's cute. But for the cat, being restrained after approaching feels negative. They learn fast. If I go over there, I lose my freedom. And next time, they're not coming. A bonus trick: create a designated meeting spot in your house. One specific place you always call them to. A clear anchor point makes it easier for their brain because they know exactly what to do. So what's the takeaway? Cats don't respond to authority. They respond to consistency and a good reason. Every time you call their name and something good happens, you're building data in their brain. Communicating with a cat isn't about you giving orders and them obeying. It's about stacking enough evidence that responding to you is actually worth it for them.